Ram Ram Shri Bhaktamrit Shri Bhakti Samrit Sindhu Bindu. By the mercy of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ji, we have been listening to beautiful and alokik verses of Bhakti Samrit Sindhu Bindu, the Siddhantas. This is a book which is full of Siddhantas. As per this book, we heard the definition of Bhakti, which is Anyabhilashita Shunyam. We heard the description of this verse. In this verse, this point came that Anukule and Pratikul. Anukul and Pratikul. Anukul means which is favorable and Pratikul means which is unfavorable. If you remember, we discussed two faults, Ati Vyapti and Avyapti. These Charul Mushtik, they want to wrestle with Krishna, and Krishna is liking that. So it can be said that Krishna is liking it, so it is the bhakti of Charumushti. Then it becomes Ati Vyapti Dosh, fault. On the other side, by Yashoda Maya, Krishna, she left Krishna and she went ahead to save the milk from the gas, from the stove. In this we can see another fault, which is so in reality Anukulina, Krishna Anushilana. We heard the detailed meaning of this verse. The point here is not that Krishna should be liking it, Krishna should like it, but real bhakti is like in Yashoda Maiya's case. Krishna is not happy, he's crying, he became angry, but this is bhakti because she wants to save the milk. That's real bhakti. This is a beautiful and deep siddhant. Who can say this? Who can explain this? It's a Gaudiya Siddhant. And this is the wealth of Gaudiya Acharyas. One Mataji asked, like if how we are serving Guru Maharaj. So Gurudev wants to have pakoda, deep fried pakoda, or jalebi or rasgulla in sweets. I want to meet everyone. This Gurudev likes. Gurudev likes this. But the sevak of Gurudev, the servant of Gurudev, he will not think about what Gurudev wants. He can even snatch the pakoras from Gurudev's hands. No, Gurudev, you cannot. You can't meet so many people in public. So in this, Gurudev externally can show a little bit angry or unsatisfied. Can this be called Guru Seva? Called Guru Seva. So he asked this question actually. So the answer is, it is clear as per this verse, Anukulina Krishna Anushilanam. What is giving happiness to Gurudev is not the what is Gurudev, that is bhakti. Or what is Gurudev, that is bhakti. Externally Gurudev is showing anger, but internally he is happy for his sevak, that he so much concerned for me, he has so much mamta for me, he is so much possessive for me, he is so much concerned for me. And the mother that this question was asked by her only. Wants to have it. our Gurudev, Pujapad Maharaj wanted to have dal puri. You know dal puri? Deep fried and it's very heavy. It was Gurudev's favorite item, dal puri. But one dal puri for 2 days. So Gurudev used to have many excuses, and he would got disconnected. Maharaj was saying that he would. They used to write book Madhapriya Prabhuji and Pujapa Siddhanti Maharaj, and Gurudev would take their name, and they would feel very shy when Guru Maharaj book. And they would not go on the stage, when Gurudev would call them. So they then later on when they would meet Gurudev, later on when they would meet Gurudev, um, so Gurudev would feel very happy that all the work is done. Books, all these Hindi books. तो उसको फोन I'm not saying this to glorify myself. Some people work on the books, some disciples, and some people they just print their names on the book just to show off their name that I have worked on this book. People will clap for me, people will praise me, people will glorify me. All this is easy to get. They can get this. But this bhavna, this feeling, if you hide it, you will not get the praise of 500 people, but you'll get the praise and glorification from the entire world and Bhagwan. So this kind of service, if we get, and if we don't expose our service in the name of fame, Krishna has eyes, Krishna can see, and he returns with interest. Externally Gurudev is not happy, but internally he is happy actually. Which is more important, internal happiness or external happiness? External happiness not, internal happiness and satisfaction. From there comes blessings, from there comes credit and blessings. Gurudev knew very well that we both were doing the entire work. Madhapriya Prabhuji and Pujapa Siddhanti Maharaj worked on so many Hindi books, but they never wanted any attention. So Gurudev always engaged. More and more services were given to both of them by Guru Maharaj, personal services as well. They had a very easy access to Gurudev's room, Pujapad Madhapriya Prabhuji and Pujapad Siddhanti Maharaj. Otherwise, it was not easy even for a rat to enter Guru Maharaj's room. But for both of them, it was very easy. Like anytime they could enter, they could come and speak to Guru Maharaj. Gurudev had a clear instruction for both of them, Pujyapad Madhapriya Prabhuji and Pujyapad Siddhanti Maharaj, that they could easily come to his room and discuss things. So then one mother who asked this question is the same example. Like Krishna is feeling very happy in fighting with the wrestlers, but in their mind is Ati Vyapti fault in the heart, in the mind of Charu and Mushti. The intention is to hurt Krishna. That is Anukulina Krishna Anushilinam. Intention should be Anukulina. Anukulina. The bhavna intention should be Anukul, favorable for Krishna. External action, external activity is secondary. But internal mood, feelings, intention, bhavna, that is more important. This is the point we need to understand here. So one question is can be asked here. You all understood what is pratikul? Unfavorable. Now we need to understand technical point. Pratikul means offenses. Offenses at the lotus feet of Gurudev, Dham, Seva, Vaishnavas. If someone says offenses is not bhakti, I will save myself from committing offenses, is not bhakti. To do bhakti is called bhakti. To do bhakti is called bhakti. I will not commit offenses. This is not bhakti. You can't call this bhakti. Like, for example, okay, so one clay pot, you have a clay pot, it's empty. Inside the clay pot, there's nothing inside it. Means there's nothing um unfavorable in that. That means, so can you say that clay pot is doing bhakti? If we define bhakti like this, that I will I will not do anything unfavorable. It is good. It is, but the whole point here is that it is not called bhakti. There's so many places, like if you take a glass of water, sorry, just a glass, and there's nothing inside it, miss, there's nothing unfavorable in it. But can you say that glass is doing any bhakti? No. It unfavorable, that does not mean it's bhakti. It's very important to understand what is Anukulina Krishna Anushilanam. That is why we need to understand with this example, because in that clay pot there's nothing unfavorable. That is good point. But in that clay pot, that clay pot is like perfect. There's nothing unfavorable in it, but that does not mean it's doing any kind of bhajan and bhakti. That's like hearing Harikatha, remembering Krishna, speaking Harikatha, chanting the holy name. That clay pot is not doing any such activity. Nothing uncool. That is why it cannot be called bhakti. So the essence of this point is, the essence is wherever Krishna Anushilan is present, only that can be called bhakti. This is the point which is emphasized here. I'm not doing any offenses. Like in Vrindavan, we brahmacharis sit together, our friends, we talk. In Vrindavan, if you do Dandvat Pranam, you know what's the benefit. So one brahmachari said, tomorrow I will take sleeping pills and I will sleep. But after taking sleep, it's Ekadashi, I'll take sleeping pills. Tomorrow is Ekadashi. In the morning, I will take 2 pills of sleeping pills, and for 18 hours, I will just sleep on my bed. So what will happen? I will not commit any offenses because I'll be just sleeping. So if I don't commit any offenses, my Ekadashi will go so well. Because in Shastras, it's written, if you don't, without offenses, if you do chanting, you will get prem. So if I don't commit any offenses, I'll just sleep. I will not commit any offenses towards the deities, towards the holy name, towards Vaishnavas. No aparadh, no offenses towards any Vaishnav. And simultaneously, I'll get one benefit. I will sleep, lie down in Vrindavan Dham for 18 hours. That would give me the benefit of Dandvat Parikrama. Can this be called Ekadashi? So that person is thinking, what is unfavorable to bhakti? Not doing that is bhakti. This person is thinking like this. Pratikul means below zero. Even coming to zero is not bhakti. Above zero, when you go 1, 2, 3, 4, plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, that is bhakti. Similarly, I had one more friend like this. It's about year 1992 when we were new. I had a friend and he was, oh, tomorrow is Janmashtami. We should do Nirjala Vrat without water fasting. I said, it is so hot in India, 43, 44-degree temperature. How to fast Nirjala in this summer? No, for me it's very simple. I can do it so easily and Janmashtami will go so easily. How? I'll sit in the AC, air condition, and I'll watch India-Pakistan match, one day match. Morning to evening, I will just watch on TV, television match, and Janmashtami would just go so easily for me. I will not commit any offenses. So is this bhakti? I'll just watch TV match and I'll sit in AC. So not committing offenses is not called bhakti. To do bhakti can only be called bhakti. That is why Anushilanam here in this definition, in this verse is very, very important. Anukulina Krishna Anushilanam Bhaktir Uttama. So many examples we heard from them. From these examples, we can understand this definition of bhakti. What is actually bhakti? So this is clear now. Like this, thus I said this, that in this verse there is one Sarup Lakshan and another Tathastha Lakshan. Sarup Lakshan is called prime reason, prime symptoms, and Tathastha symptoms are secondary symptoms. So in this verse, Anabhrashita Shunyam, the Sarup symptom, prime symptom is not the one which is said in the beginning. The prime symptom is said at the last. Anukulina Krishna Anushilanam is prime symptom of bhakti. What is said in the beginning is secondary symptom. What is secondary here? Gyan Karmadya Anavritam. This is secondary symptom of bhakti. Gyan Karmadya Anavritam. So this is secondary symptom of Bhakti. That bhakti which which has desires, material desires. That bhakti which has um the covering of gyan and karma, mixture of gyan and karma. That bhakti cannot be called Uttam Bhakti. That cannot be called Krishna Bhakti. This point, this we need really need to understand this first, because in our daily practices we can judge easily our desires. We all have desires. We all have desires inside us. So if I have those desires, so am I really doing Uttam perfect bhakti or not? If my bhakti has the coverings of Gyan and Karma, mixture of Gyan and Karma, then my bhakti cannot be called pure Uttama Bhakti. That is why inside me no transformation is coming, no realizations would come. No, that's why it is very crucial to know what is actually bhakti. How should be Anushilan? Anushilan means bhakti process. How the bhakti process should be. In bhakti should advance that process. That increases bhakti. Vriddhi means to increase. Apart from this, lokik or parlokik, material desires, or parlokik means heaven. No such abhilasha means desire. No materialistic desire, and no. How is the material desire? I should get married. I should get a very beautiful wife. I should get a very nice husband. I should get a very nice big house. I should get a very big salary job, good job, I mean to say, etc., etc., etc. These are materialistic desires. Then, when I have some savings, when I get some savings, like in my entire life, if I have worked so much for such 500,000 euros or dollars, 500,000 I have accumulated. What would I do now? Seva. Seva means punya, pious credits. I would do some donations, pious credits. That would give me entrance to heaven. So why I want heaven? Why to go to heaven? Everything is about why you want to go to 5-star. It has good facilities. Oh, it's about payment. So you are paying for your facilities. Why you want to go to heaven? Because you can enjoy there. Lavish. No diseases, no pain, and very pleasant things there. It's very good everywhere in all four directions in heaven. So you don't need to get married in heaven. You can just go around with anyone. So let's go to heaven, which is full of enjoyment. But what's the payment? Pious credits. For pious credits you need to do some sacrifices. Out of 500 to $4,000-5,000 you need to spend on to get pious credits. So from this, what you will get? Pious credits. Materialistic desires and the desire to get heaven, both of them are what? Abhilasha, desires. Don't conclude right now, please hear first. Which abhilasha is good and which abhilasha is not good, because sometimes those who do not know this siddhant, they can think in their mind that I was with Gurudev, I was serving Gurudev, I I would go to Europe, Russia, Australia, and I would preach. Even this is a desire. I would preach to by going to Western world. In Navdim, we should get a very big temple so that many people can come and do parikrama. This is also one desire, right? So right now you thought You can ask yourself this this world's desire, and then the desire to get heaven. All these are anabhilash. Anabhilash means unwanted desire. The meaning of anabhilash means unwanted desire. So don't conclude anything right now. Just listen first. This means to do. You have to divide free from all desires of this world and of other worlds, means heavens and higher planets. In Srimad Bhagavatam also it's said like this. Te Sanjatya Bhakta. It's an important verse. We should learn this. If Prabhuji can share this here. 11.31, something like that Maharaj said. This means what? By the goal of bhakti. Why we should do bhakti? Because so that we can get bhakti. Why we do sadhan bhajan? To get bhakti, to do bhakti. Like I say this, Ambrish Maharaj, what he does, Save Mana Krishna Avatar Vind. Another verse Maharaj is saying, by all your senses you engage in the service of the Lord. Eyes, nose, hands, ears. With your leg you go for parikrama. But at last what he said, thank you Prabhu for sharing it in the group. Why we doing all these processes of bhakti, limbs of bhakti, so that we can get bhakti. I should become his servant. This is the goal. Not that my kingdom should increase, or I should get more and more wives, or I should get more and more servants. No, this is not the point. This is not the point. So Mahaprabhu taught us, na dhanam, na janam, na sundriyam kavita jagdish kamay. This is the verse from, say, Shiksha Ashtakam. Oh my dear Lord, I don't want wealth. I don't want any followers, fan following. I do not want beautiful words, or I do not want to enjoy this world. Then what do I want? Germany, Ishwari. In every birth, I want your bhakti. Ahetu ki bhakti. Ahetu ki bhakti is this uttama bhakti. That that process of bhakti which is done to get bhakti. Try to understand. Ekadashi I'm doing, following Ekadashi. I will not do Ekadashi to get some profit. Like this. That Ekadashi does not come in Uttama category. It won't come. I'm doing Ekadashi to get something. That will come in Anabhilashita. Anabhilash category. The desires, to fulfill my desires, I did Ekadashi fast. Oh, Kartik month is coming. Okay. I will do 25 rounds of Harinam daily because my work is pending. Work is pending. My one desire is pending. So to fulfill that desire, I'll chant more in Kartik. This is not Uttama Bhakti. In our daily practices, these things come. So be careful, and we can learn a lot from these. This Bhakti Sanjatya Bhaktya. With the purpose of bhakti, we should do Shravan, Kirtan, Smarnam, so that we get bhakti. That's it. And this is the difference between Karmi. They also do Shravan and Kirtan. They hear Bhagavatam. They chant holy name. They do Ekadashi. But their purpose is what? What is their goal? To fulfill to fulfill their materialistic desire. But you all devotees, you chant the holy name daily. You do Ekadashi. You do Bhakti. You do everything. For what? So that our bhakti increases. Daily we do something. We add something in our bank account, spiritual bank account. Daily we are adding one coin, daily one coin. One day that pot would fill up to the top. That donation box would fill up to the top. So daily some limbs of bhakti we are doing, and that's getting add on, add on, add on. One day it will get to the full top level. So bhakti should be done to get bhakti and not any materialistic desire. This means that our sadhan which we are doing and bhav bhakti which we want to get, the purpose, we need to set the purpose for that. This is the uh, a very important message of our Gurudev. Why I speak Harikatha on Gopis, why I speak Harikatha on Braj, why I speak on the glories of Radha Rani, because this is the goal, this is the purpose. You need to set this purpose first, then accordingly you need to do bhakti. When goal is not set, purpose is not set, okay, I will go to heaven, I'll go to Brahmlok, I'll get liberation, I'll get something, what does it matter? This means this is this bhakti is insane. Not insan, but insane. Insan means human and insane means pagal, mad. Because you do not know where you want to go. You do not know you are at the train station and you went to the counter. Just give me a ticket. Where you want to go? I don't know where I want to go. Will you speak like this? Okay, I will give you the ticket later on. You just get aside. You do not know where you want to go. Means the moon of Purnima and Amavasya is, those who know, those who have some mental problem, they on the day of Purnima and Amavasya, they they becomes more, they get some problems. So Purnima means full moon night and Amavasya means no moon night, no moon. So you need to set your purpose initially in the beginning of your bhakti. What is the purpose of this bhajan which I am doing? So sadhan bhakti, prem bhakti, sorry, um, don't conclude. Maharaj is saying just here. Shunyam means zero, anabhilash shunyam. That is Uttama Bhakti. Why I was saying this, don't get to any conclusions, because now I'm coming to a very important point. Our acharyas have said this. We need to give attention here that in this verse of Bhakti, Anya Abhilash Shunya is not said. Anya Abhilashita Shunyam is said. Not Anya Abhilash, but Anya Abhilashita. Some people don't learn this verse properly. So how they say? Anya Abhilash Shunyam Gyan Karmadya. Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. You can say, what's the difference? It's the same point. Anya Abhilash Shunya means you become zero from all material desires. Free. No, it's not the same point. There is difference. The word ta which is added here at the end of Anya Abhilash, that makes a huge difference. Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Why it is said like this? Anya Abhilashita. Here a deep mood of Rupa Goswami is hidden in this Anya Abhilashita. Rupa Goswami, after deep thought, used this word Anabhilashita. Why? Anabhilash, at the end of Anabhilash, there is a suffix. I think it's called suffix, which is used at the end of the word, which is the suffix is ta, anyabhlashita. So for using ta, the significance is by okay, by any sadhak, devotee, uh, anybody, female, male, brahmachari, sannyasi, grasta. Sadhak means sadhak. It can be anyone, any of any one and ashram. When they are doing bhakti properly, there should not be any other desire apart from bhakti. This is ideal. No other desire apart from doing bhakti. But, but, however, if some unnatural situation comes, some problem comes, plane crash, or an elephant is coming from the front, or tiger is coming from the front to attack us, or car is coming to hit us, these situations are not natural, they are unnatural, accidental situations, life and death situations. So what happens is, one person was speaking so nice, I was not sitting in that plane which got crashed, otherwise I would have died. We are safe on the road, nobody is safe in the air. We are not safe in the air. So in the group they were talking, they were speaking, and another person said, oh no, even road accidents are dangerous, even roads are not safe, even people die in road accidents. Oh yes, that happens in the road, in the middle of the road. We 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 are we walk we walk on the side of the road, and we have no risk to our life. Road accidents are common. You sit in the plane can crash. You're in the water, Titanic can sink. Even that the big ship Titanic sank. But I am just walking next to the road, there's no risk to me. But you know what happened? From behind a car came. One car came. The driver of that car, because he was running with speed, the car was running with speed, and he lost the control. The driver lost the control of the car, and he, from the road, he came on the footpath. The car came on the footpath, and he hit that person who was walking on the pavement. This is how. I'm just telling you one story. One, okay, this story is 30 years back, 30 years old story. A group of friends, there were 10 people, 10 friends, and they made a plan. They want to go to the mountains. They wanted to go from hiking, mountain hiking, and not in the bus. We would walk to the forest. 30 years, 35 years back story. And there were 10 people together, so no one was scared. They were going through the forest. It was like deep forest. Rain started, and thunderstorm, lightning, Goom, gom, goom. Maharaj is making as if it's bombarding. It was heavy thunderstorm. And everyone thought we would sit under a tree, like, and we would, if lightning comes on the tree, then that would make earthing. The branches, the branches of the tree, and if the lightning comes on the tree, then we are safe under the tree. So let us take shelter under a tree. So they all came under a tree, and the clouds were making very strong sounds. One man was from them, between them, among them, one person was an astrologer. So one was astrologer, and he was little psychic. So that astrologer said, this lightning, which is it, okay, one of us will die today. Otherwise, all night, if we stay here, it will not stop. One of us has to die. And who is that one? Who is that one person? He didn't. He did not say one person has to die. He said someone has to die. Otherwise, it won't stop. So what should we do? So everyone would die. So it's better one person should die. So they all, came to a mutual understanding, and they decided, from this tree, like 30 steps, there's one more tree, a big banyan tree. Let's go to till there. One by one, we would go there to that banyan tree. So Krishna, nature, nature who wants to kill, whom nature wants to kill, that one person would die, and the rest of us would get saved, protected. So now everyone got scared. So someone should start. So one person A started. He was scared. Oh Bhagwan, please save me. Oh Bhagwan, please save me. Oh Bhagwan, please save me. He walked, and he came under that banyan tree, and he was relaxed. Oh, I was not supposed to die. I'm saved. And lightning was going on, thundering was going on, clouds were making sounds. And now person B came, second person. He was also sweating, he was shivering, nervous, scared, and he ran towards that another banyan tree. Even lightning did not fall on him. Okay, I'm also saved. Then third person, fourth person, fifth person, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, and then all 9 people were saved. So those 9 people who came there, they all said, "Oh, now this one person who is left there, he's unfortunate one. He's that bad person. Because of him, today the lightning wanted to kill us. He's all alone. When he would walk, naturally he would die. One has to die. Someone has to die. So lightning would come, fall on him. So they all from distant were waving at him like this. Okay, brother, because of you, this all happened. Now we are saved. Now it's your number. Only God can save you. So he just folded his hands. Oh Bhagwan, if in my life I have done even some bhakti of you, now this is for sure. I'm about to die. I'm the one who is left. I'm the one who is remaining. I have to die. But in next birth, please give me your bhakti. I don't want anything else. And those 9 people sitting on, under that banyan tree, they were laughing at him. Oh, we are saved, we are saved. I will explain this to my wife. I will show this story to my children. And same time, boom, blast came, and that lightning fell on that tree on which under which those 9 people were standing. Where those 9 people were standing under that banyan tree, 9 friends, lightning fall on them. They all had to die, they were saved because of that one person. Because of that one person's presence, they all were saved. But the moment they lost his presence, they all died. They all died. So where are we safe? Where are we safe? This is unfavorable, sorry, uh, unexpected circumstances, unforeseen circumstance, unexpected, unforeseen. So here it is at the same point. Sadhak, if you face any such situation in your life, if you pray to Bhagwan, oh Krishna, I am your devotee, please save me in this situation, Bhagwan. That means one desire came inside you, one material desire came inside you, but this desire will not end your bhakti. This is not Rupa Goswami saying this. Rupa Goswami is saying no, it's not like this. It's not like this. Such prayer, such desire will not harm your bhakti, because during bad situation your nature changed because of calamity, some bad situation, some trouble, some trouble. Because of that bad situation, Sadhak prayed to God, to Krishna, not in normal circumstance. That is why out of you know distress, he prayed like this. That Sadhak prayed like this. So this abhilasha is not out of it's not natural. This was actually like kind of he was forced to pray like this because of bad unforeseen situation. So that's why here it's not said an abhilash shunyam, but Rupa Goswami has mentioned here anya abhilashita shunyam. That's why this word ta here is very important. In emergency, if we any sadhak who prays, please pray, help me Krishna, save me. So this is also a desire. So bhakti should be lost if we pray like this. But Rupa Goswami says no, bhakti will not be lost, because this is not natural. This is not a daily situation. This is accidental situation which can happen unnaturally sometimes, at times. That's why you will not lose your bhakti. Sadhak will not lose his bhakti. So from this we can get very big instructions here. This point is clear here. What is anabhilashita shunyam? One more point is here. For Krishna's service, there's so many details here. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Everyone knows. If we somehow pray to Krishna for some material desire, but the purpose of that desire is 100% service of Krishna, still your bhakti will not be lost. Like I mentioned earlier, Gurudev's desire was to open a very big mutt in Navdeep, and this was broadcasted in the entire world for raising donations. Navdeep mutt would be built up, so give donations, raise donations. So Gurudev's desire is Anabhilash. Yes or no? Yes or no? No. This is for the service of Bhagwan, not for Yudhishthir Maharaj said to Krishna, Sri Krishna, "Hey Bhagwan, please make me the king of the entire world." Samrat means the king, emperor of the entire earth. And another desire of mine is all my brothers should be submissive to me. My brothers, my wife should be submissive to me. Bhagwan said, okay, these are desires, material desires. No one praised such desires. No one prays for such desires to me. So why he did? So Yudhishthir Maharaj's desires, they are not Anya Bhilash. His desires are that no one should feel, no one should think that those who do Krishna Bhakti, they are beggars. They become beggars. No one should feel this. So, to keep his master's profile perfect, Yudhishthir Maharaj prayed like this. Who's his master? Krishna. Draupadi ji raised her hands in the air. Hey Govind Lakho Raj. Hey Govind Lakho Raj. Hey Govind, please protect me. Save me. So Draupadi ji's prem, her prem should get reduced. There should be loss in bhakti. No. Why no loss? Unusual situation, unforeseen situation, unnatural situation. This is not natural. It doesn't happen every day in daily life. And daily, if you speak like this, oh Krishna, it's too hot. Oh Krishna, please reduce the sun heat. Oh Bhagwan, today you do this, you do that, tomorrow you do that. This is the loss of bhakti. In this, there's loss of bhakti. If we daily pray like this. Prahlad Maharaj also desired. Prahlad Maharaj says, Hey Narsimha Bhagwan, all the munis and sadhus are very conjuice, means greedy. They pray for their liberation, personal liberation, but I will not be miser. I will not be conjuice, miser. I don't want just for me, just I don't want just for myself. I want the entire world should get liberation. So Prahlad Maharaj prayed to Narsimha Bhagwan, the entire people of this world, that problems, their problems should come on my head, and you all should get bhakti. The entire people of this world should get bhakti. This is also one kind of desire. I will take the suffering of everyone alone. I will bear all the sufferings of everyone. This is also kind of one desire. So we need to understand with maturity, not with immaturity. Gauridas Panditji desired, Gauridas करत आश सर्व जीव उधारे देवादिदेव गौरचंद्र गौरीदास मंदिरे. Gauridas ji is prayed like this to Mahaprabhu, Oh my Lord, please deliver all the living entities. This desire is Anabhilasha. Anabhilasha? No. This is not Anabhilasha. Anabhilasha. One preacher suffers a lot for preaching. In his mind, he desires, out of my efforts, my endeavors, everyone should leave non-veg, eating non-vegetarian, drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes, eating meat, all bad habits they should leave, and they should become devotee of the Lord. With this purpose, keeping this intention in his mind, that person starts preaching, and he struggles a lot. He suffers, he faces different struggles, and he also gets success at the end. But seeing this, if someone desires in their mind, oh, even I will preach, I also want to become a preacher, I also want to speak Harikatha. So when I come on the stage, people would stand for me to give me honor. then they would garland me, they would clap for me. When I would sit, then they would sit. After me, they would sit. Then they would all clap for me. They would glorify me. Wow, what a preacher he is. What a preacher he is. What Harikatha he speaks. But he has no qualification. He has no qualification. He has no adhikar, no qualification, and he just wants to be a preacher. This desire is anabhilash. This is not anabhilashita. Because his purpose is what? I want to imitate a good another preacher. This is the loss of bhakti. In this you can lose your bhakti. This is the point. Like uh, the pot maker, those who make clay pots with his hands, and he puts in India, you see he has different pots, big, small, small, small. He has so many pots lined up. Customers come, those whatever they want, they just pick up and they just take it. And all day he has so many customers. All day he is busy with customers. And just one person who is opposite to him, he's also pot maker. He has no customers. He's all day just wasting time. Customers do not come to him. And seeing that other shopkeeper, he becomes jealous. Becomes jealous. Why he has more customers than me? Oh, he has more customers. I have. I don't have so many customers. Why people don't come to me? So he daydreams. Daydreaming is he dreams in the day. One day would come, I would open the shop, and just before me opening the shop, there would be a line outside my shop. People would be standing, people would be waiting for me to open the shop. I will take this kind of pot, I'll take that kind of pot. And thinking like this, he would go to bed. He would just sleep. And even in his dream, he's dreaming. Customer is coming. Someone is taking 10 pots from me, 20 pots, 50 pots. I want five. I want more than five. I would become so busy. I would have no time left for even eating lunch. He's just dreaming all this. And then one customer came and complained, "Sir, you gave me this clay pot, but it has a hole. You give me back my money." And my servant, I would scold him. Why you gave this bad pot to the customer? You don't work properly. And I would punch that servant of mine. He was, and okay, and he actually, kicked in while he was dreaming, and he kicked the pots who were just lying next to him, and all those pots fell because he was just dreaming. More money would come to me, and I would kick my servant. And when he kicked, actually all his pots fell because he was dreaming when he was actually kicking. So this is called daydreaming. And this is also called anadhikar cheshta, means um, those efforts where I have no qualification. I should not do such efforts. I don't know cooking. I want to cook for 100 people, but I don't know cooking. Then people would just come and slap me because I do not know. What can I cook then? So that's why we need to understand this properly. We heard Anukulina, Krishna Anushilanam. What is the significance of this? The two faults which we discussed here. Let's recap this in 1 minute. Anukulina Krishna Anushilan. Pratikul, leaving Pratikul is not bhakti. Abandoning Pratikul situation is not bhakti. Not committing offenses is not bhakti. But to do bhakti is only called bhakti. Anukul, with Anukul Bhav, we should serve Krishna. That's called Krishna Anushilanam. This is one point which we learned. Second point which we learned is anabhilasha means what? Anabhilashita shunyam. What is the meaning of anabhilashita shunyam? There is difference between these two. With that bhakti which has material desires and heavenly desires. Heavenly. I should get heaven. This is anabhilash. These are obstacles in the path of bhakti. But where anabhilashita, that means unusual situations. In unusual situations, one can when you are dying, if you pray to God when you are dying, then that desire is not harmful. That desire will not harm your bhakti. In unforeseen situations, anukulina krishnanushilanam and anya abhilashita shunyam, these 2 points which we have learned. And further we would hear on Monday. Tomorrow is Saturday, I have program here. Sunday is your Updeshamrit by Sachin Prabhu. So our next 2 days are busy. So Monday we will hear Bhakti Swami Sindhu Bindu. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Shri Vishwanath Chachi Thakur ki jai. All glories to him. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Hare Krishna.